The Atomic Habits book by James Clear, going deeper into the principles and strategies Clear outlines to help you build good habits and break bad ones. Introduction: The Power of Atomic Habits. James Clear begins by introducing the concept of atomic habits. These are small, seemingly insignificant habits that, when compounded over time, can lead to remarkable results. He emphasizes that we overestimate the importance of big, radical changes and underestimate the power of tiny improvements. Clear refers to habits as the compound interest of self-improvement, where little things done consistently accumulate into massive change. Part 1. The Fundamentals: Why Tiny Changes Make a Big Difference. Clear starts by explaining the science behind habits and why small changes lead to such profound results. He gives an example of getting just 1% better every day. At the end of the year, you would be 37 times better than when you started. On the other hand, if you get 1% worse each day, you'll be nearly zero at the end of the year. The core idea is that habits work through compound growth, and this principle applies to both good and bad habits. Tiny changes, when repeated, grow exponentially. 2. How habits shape your identity, and vice versa. A major theme throughout the book is that habits are not just actions, they are a reflection of our identity. Clear argues that identity-based habits are more powerful than goal-based ones. Instead of focusing on achieving an outcome, you should focus on becoming the type of person who performs the desired actions. For example, instead of setting a goal to run a marathon, think of yourself as a runner. This subtle shift in perspective makes your habits feel more aligned with who you are, making them stickier. Part 2. The 4 Laws of Behavior Change. James Clear introduces the 4 Laws of Behavior Change, a practical framework for building and breaking habits. These laws align with the science of habit formation and apply to both good and bad habits. 3. The first law: make it obvious. The first step to forming a habit is to make the cues for the desired behavior visible and obvious. Our habits are often triggered by environmental cues, and Clear suggests redesigning your environment to promote the behaviors you want to adopt. Habit stacking, one powerful strategy. Clear introduces as habit stacking, where you take a current habit and stack a new habit on top of it. For example, if you want to start doing 10 push-ups every morning, you might add it right after brushing your teeth. The act of brushing your teeth becomes a trigger for the new behavior. Implementation intentions. Another technique is setting a clear plan about when and where your habit will occur. For example, I will exercise at 6 p.m. at the gym. This helps to make the cue obvious. For breaking bad habits, Clear recommends making the cues invisible. If you're trying to stop eating junk food, don't keep unhealthy snacks in your house. By removing the cue, it becomes harder to engage in the habit. The second law: make it attractive. The second law revolves around making habits attractive, as we are more likely to stick to behaviors that are rewarding or pleasurable. This law focuses on the craving part of the habit loop. Temptation bundling. Clear offers a technique called temptation bundling, which pairs a habit you want to do with something you enjoy. For example, you could only watch your favorite TV show while walking on a treadmill. This makes the habit of exercise more attractive because it's tied to something pleasurable. The role of dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. Clear explains that behaviors that trigger a release of dopamine are more likely to be repeated. Thus, by making the desired habit enjoyable, you activate the reward system. For bad habits, the key is to make the behavior unattractive. You can do this by associating negative feelings with the habit. For instance, every time you overeat junk food, you could remind yourself of the long-term health consequences, reinforcing the unattractiveness of the habit. The 2-minute rule. Clear introduces the 2-minute rule, which says that any habit can be started by focusing on the first 2 minutes. For example, if you want to read more, you don't need to read a whole book, just aim to read 1 page. This makes starting the habit easier and less overwhelming. Prime the environment. By setting up your environment for success, you remove barriers to the habit. If you want to practice guitar, leave the guitar in the middle of the room so that it's the first thing you see when you walk in. The more frictionless the habit, the easier it will be to form. For breaking bad habits, Clear advises to increase friction. For example, if you want to stop watching too much TV, unplug the TV after each use or hide the remote control. The more difficult the habit is to engage in, the less likely you are to do it. 6. The fourth law, make it satisfying. The final law is about making the habit satisfying. The reward, or the feeling of satisfaction after completing the habit, helps reinforce the behavior and makes it more likely to be repeated. Habit tracking. One of the most effective ways to make a habit satisfying is by tracking your progress. Clear suggests using a visual tracking system, like marking off a calendar for every day you successfully complete your habit. This creates a feeling of achievement and reinforces the behavior. Immediate rewards. Often, the benefits of good habits are delayed, e.g., working out for long-term health, and bad habits provide immediate rewards, e.g., eating junk food. To counteract this, Clear suggests creating immediate rewards for good habits. For example, after completing a workout, treat yourself to a healthy snack you enjoy. For bad habits, the key is to make the consequences immediately unpleasant. For instance, if you find yourself scrolling endlessly on social media, you could create a rule where you donate money to a cause you dislike every time you fall into the trap. This immediate discomfort makes the behavior less likely to occur. Part 3, Advanced Tactics and Strategies. 7. The Goldilocks Rule. The Goldilocks Rule states that we experience peak motivation when we are working on tasks that are just the right level of difficulty, not too easy and not too hard. If a habit is too easy, it won't engage us, and if it's too hard, we'll give up. The optimal challenge keeps us in a state of motivation and engagement. To apply this, break down larger tasks into manageable pieces that feel challenging but not impossible. For instance, instead of saying, I want to lose 50 pounds, break it down into smaller goals that feel more achievable, like losing 5 pounds in a month. 8. The plateau of latent potential. Clear emphasizes that results often take time to show up. At first, progress can seem slow, and you might feel like you're not getting anywhere. This is what Clear calls the plateau of latent potential. Success often comes in bursts after a long period of gradual growth. The key is persistence. Trust the process and keep showing up every day. 9. Review and refine. Clear ends by stressing the importance of regular review and adjustment. Habit formation is a dynamic process, and you should be willing to refine your strategies as you go. Reflecting on your progress helps you stay on track and ensures you continue building the identity you want. Conclusion: Mastering the Art of Habit Formation. Atomic Habits concludes with a powerful message. Habits are the foundation of every transformation. By following Clear's 4 laws and understanding the science behind habit formation, you can break bad habits and create new ones that lead to lasting success. The book is not just about reaching specific goals, but about changing your identity and building a system that makes success inevitable. Through small, consistent improvements, you can radically change your life. Final key takeaways. Atomic habits, small, incremental habits, are the key to achieving long-term success. Identity-based habits focus on who you want to become, not just what you want to achieve. The 4 laws of behavior change, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, are the core principles for building good habits and breaking bad ones. The plateau of latent potential reminds us that results often come after consistent effort, so don't give up when progress feels slow. This detailed summary covers the key principles and practical strategies presented in Atomic Habits, offering a step-by-step guide to transforming your habits and ultimately your life.